Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Network. It's my net worth. I'm your host here today, Rel Purnell, aka Carshall Rel. We got a great one today. Chess Holmes is gonna be in the building, y'all. If y'all did y'all research on our guest, man. He's down in the Atlanta market, making it freaking happen in business and also in real estate. Further ado, we're going to bring this guy on along with my boy, J Hall Agent, and we're going to get into some real talk, some real biz.
There it is. Hey, guys, what's up? What's up? My man.
Look, y'all, this is a good guy right here. And I'm going to be honest, man, I love talking business with this guy. I had to switch the fit.
I see.
You know, out of due respect, man, you know, I can't bring you on the platform and not show you that respect, man. Cause,
man, I apologize. I'm just in the chess king today, the shirt
look,
today, man.
It's all good. I got it for you.
I appreciate you for holding it down.
Look, when we talk biz and you know we talk real biz, I like, yo, let me throw my fit on, let me throw my monks on, let me get in the vibe today.
You looking clean, bro. You looking clean. You looking clean.
Thank you, man. Thank you. J Hall Agent, what's up, my guy?
I was good, so I came on here, man, and you know, I thought I'm just coming out of my suit, and you in the suit.
Right,
I had no knowledge, you know what I mean? I'm out here looking crazy, but I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Hey, Chess Holmes, man, give us a small introduction to who you are, and you know, let's get into it. Let's get into the talk right afterwards.
Good deal, because I got some stuff I want to bring to your followers, to the guests that's on here. Thank y'all for coming in to the live. I'm Chess Holmes. I'm a real estate investor, 2-year real estate investor, actually, out of Atlanta, Georgia. I've been able to accomplish a lot of things in 2 years, man, and I'm really, really appreciative of the journey, what I've gone through to get to, you know, the things that I've done now, and I'm just looking for a lot more. So. Just an honor to be on here with these guys.
Man, 1,000%. So you know, obviously, let's get it out there, out in the open. What is your businesses that you that you have? Because you know, you're not only a real estate investor, you're also a business owner.
Yeah.
I want to kind of set the platform and set the stage, for both. So I'm going to allow you to do so.
Okay, absolutely. So I own several companies. I own a chess company, which started the whole chess legacy, if you will, where I teach chess to kids in school. So I actually own the largest chess company in the state of Georgia that teaches chess to kids in schools. So we've got about 65 schools that we operate out of, over 2,500 kids. 75 employees pre-COVID, of course. And so now we're just in the building stage to kind of build it back up. When COVID happened, we went all online, which actually opened us up for more students, because then we went kind of nationwide. All right. So that worked out well. We took a little break for for June, and looking forward to starting that back up. So if you guys have kids, and you want them to learn how to play chess, please visit the website at chessadventures.org. We start kids as early as 5 years old, all the way up to 18 years old. So, I just want to throw that plug, if it's okay, my brother. We're on the network.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Fact, we might have to pin that right at the bottom, man.
Let's pin it.
If you don't mind, if you don't mind for a few seconds, man, chessadventures.org. Again, for all of you guys that have kids that want to learn how to play chess, we do online lessons with a live coach 4 days out of the week. And now we're getting ready to go back into the school system. So we're going to be really, really busy with that, going back into the schools. And then I also own a landscape company as well. So
that's new. Hold on. We gotta look. We got another guy who wears many hats, man. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so my landscape company, I started that last summer, and I built. So basically, what I did I do the same thing. You know, it's like once you start a business, it's like a footprint to do it in every other business. You can kind of start it almost the same way. So I went to Vistaprint, got some business cards, filed the business name with the state, and I went out hanging door tags on people's doors, really, really nice door tags on people's doors, giving out cards everywhere I went. Look, I'm a landscaper. You know, give me a call. I'll come to your yard. I'll come to your yard. And man, I grew to like 40-something houses. And then I had to hire some help. And so that's pretty much how that started. Start off doing that. And then as I got more into real estate,
He might got
taking over that business.
Yeah, probably so. There we go.
Uh-oh.
You had a call coming through?
No, I don't think I did. I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Lenny,
Yeah.
Lenny, what's up? But go ahead, Jess.
Yeah, so yeah, man, went out and got some yards. Just look, anything is just advertising, right? Now, I'm gonna tell you what helped. What helped my advertising is when I was doing it, I went out in this.
In a Hummer.
my yellow Hummer, right? Remember the yellow
Yeah.
Hummer? So I was doing landscaping, driving around in a Hummer. And when people would see the Hummer, they'd be like, man, if this guy popping up in a Hummer to cut grass, he must be legitimate.
You gotta leverage it, man. Look.
Yeah. So it did pretty good, man. The only thing I didn't like, dude, I kind of pulled away from that when I got more into real estate because I didn't have the time. Plus, I didn't like those bee stings. Then I got stung by so many bees that summer, man. I was like, nah, buddy.
Man, good stuff. So between all of your businesses,
yeah,
what would you say you putting the most time into as of right now?
As of right now, it's definitely real estate. Definitely real estate right now. Putting a lot of time and energy there. But you know what's ironic, Rel, is it doesn't take a lot of time to do real estate. You know, you spend a lot of time finding deals. As you might know, you spend more time finding deals and things like that and just kind of talking to people. But the behind the scenes of, like, for instance, my apartment buildings, right? You've seen I've bought a couple of apartment buildings in the last few months.
Look, let's not just gloss over that like that. No. We got a guy who's buying apartment complexes.
Yeah.
He's only been into real estate within 2 years.
Yeah.
So you're definitely taking it serious. I've been trying to get into real estate heavily over the past 5 years.
Yeah.
And yo, you've been doing it for 2 years and you've been freaking killing it. Like, just say, oh, I'm trying to get in. I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for the right opportunity. You're in it, man. And I definitely want to give you salutes and give you your flowers.
Appreciate that. Definitely appreciate it.
For not just being a talker, but actually jumping in the waters and swimming. But yeah, man, talk about that. Talk about that.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll start you from the journey. I'll start from the very beginning, right? So prior to getting into real estate in the last 2 years, I was running my chess company, right? And my chess company, man, we were killing it. Like I said, I was bringing in $25,000 a month, just my income, not including staff and all the expenses of the company and things like that. So after all expenses were paid, I had this $25,000 per month left over to just do anything I wanted to do with, right? So first I was wasting it on, I'm also a musician too, by the way, guys. I'm a professional bass player too. So I would just, every month I was buying a $7,000 bass guitar, just every month, just buying a new bass. And I was like, wait a minute, man, I got to do something better with this money than this. So then I got worse. I started buying cars and motorcycles. I should have stuck with the basses. So I went out and buying all kind of, cars and trucks and the Hummers and a couple of motorcycles and all that stuff. And I was like, look, I got to do something better with this money. I can't just keep, kind of throwing it away. So I had already been researching real estate and how to start flipping houses because I knew that's something I wanted to do. So I spent 2 years studying on how to flip houses. Like, how do you buy them? Where do you find them? Where do you get the money to purchase them? things like that. You know, I'm a big fan of Will Motivation, so I always give Will his props because he's one of the main guys that I looked at and really watched his videos to learn how to study real estate. And so finally, after I got the knowledge for 2 years of studying, I kind of, you know, jumped right into the market. I had 25 grand, literally 1 month's worth of my income and all that stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go find a house. This house came available. It was $61,000. And it had just came up on the market. And my sister called me and she said, look, check this property out. I called up the real estate agent who had the property, and he said it was still available. I said, well, look, I'd like to come take a look at it. Went and looked at it, and you know, immediately, you know, I bought it. 61,000. I had already been researching hard money lenders, right? So I knew that I had enough to put the down payment on the house, because when you're flipping houses or buying real estate that way, what you need pretty much is the down payment, right? So I had the down payment, which cost me about, I think it was almost 30% with this first lender that I used. Had 25K, they put up the rest, and they gave me another $20,000 to flip the house, to actually renovate the house. So it was 61,000 plus another 20 to renovate. I put up like 25, started the process, and flipped that first house. I sold that house for $115,000. Now look, I thought I was gonna make like 20 or 30,000 on the project. I ended up only making 11 on that first deal. So made 11,000. But remember now, I had that 11,000 plus my original 25 came back too. Okay, so I was at about 36,000, somewhere around there, and then went right on, took the money from there, and went straight into the next house, straight into the next project. I didn't spend it on anything else. I was done with all my splurging. You know, I was like, look, man, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm finished splurging. Now I really want to get into real estate. So went over to my second. Am I talking too much? Let me know, man. Shut me down if I talk too much.
Yo, perfect.
All right, because, you know, I love talking, especially you, my brother. So I took that I think it was 36,000 I had from that deal, and I found my next house. And it's tricky. So, you know, I always advise people that's trying to get into real estate, like, don't give up the journey because you don't get the property in the very beginning. Oh, my friend Delise is here. Diva, what's going on, Delise? Thank you for coming in. Eric is here too. All right, you guys have been, you know. Oh, E Vapors is in too. What's up, E? But no, so I took that money and I put it into the next deal. It was another deal that came up for $99,000, right? I called up the agent and I said, listen, I want to offer you $78,000 for the house. So she was like, no, that's too low. You know, no, my client they'll just hold on to the house for that. So I waited. I literally waited, and I kept looking and kept looking. And 2 months later, she called me back and she said, hey, listen, my client wants to sell you the house, you know, for $80,000. I said, now I'm thinking to myself, I offered her 78 and she's calling me back. So that means nobody else wants this property. So since she's calling, I'm like, you know what? Now it's worth 75 because you're calling me now. So I offered her 75 and she was like, no, I'm not going to take it. She waits another month, calls me back and says, all right, we'll take your 75. And that was my second deal. I got that one for 75. I put 22 into it to flip it. Use the hard money lender. Again, use the same hard money lender. And end up selling that house for $169,000. 169. So I had made something like 37,000 or somewhere like, I can't remember because now everything's starting to run together. But I made a good little piece of change off of that. And then I had that plus what I had when I first started. Remember, I'm not spending money anymore. Yeah, like I'm finished. Yeah, I'm done spending money. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said, yeah, you're reinvesting everything. You're putting everything back.
I'm taking all my money and putting it back into deals. And so by then I had had a partner that came into my deals too. And the great thing about having a partner in real estate is you can split everything 50-50. So when my partner came in, I was actually able to buy bigger deals because I had a partner in. So my partner came in and we actually bought two or three houses at the same time because I had them in. I had investors in. Well, I didn't have investors at the time. I just had partners at that time. And then we bought, the last three houses or whatever the case may be. One of them was 170. Now keep in mind, you guys, I'm using high dollar hard money lenders. So my hard money lenders were charging 35% down at the time. So imagine I bought a house for $170,000. I had to end up putting like $79,000 down on that house. Okay. But again, it's coming from my partner and the money that I had stored away.
Yeah.
So, and the great part about that, I don't know. Now that I think back, I think it was kind of genius or it was chess, but I didn't do it on purpose, right? The money that I had stored away and by picking up a partner allowed me to put some money into my first apartment deal and purchase my first apartment deal and continue to flip because now I got a partner who's helping to cover the expenses.
Let's hold on.
Yeah.
Before we get into the part, because I want to talk about the apartment deal. I want to talk about how other people can get involved in real estate as an investor or a wholesaler or a flipper. And I also want to talk about the Rick Ross house.
Yeah, that's our big one, man. That's our big one.
I've been keeping up with your latest videos. I love the theme that you're doing now. Like it's shying away from blogging and more so it got the production feel.
Okay.
Salute to that. I love that.
Thank you.
My guy down here on the left.
Yeah.
He's a real estate agent.
Yeah, I've been watching him.
He's killing it out here, and he works with guys like yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get involved too deep, he's also a subject matter expert around here. I gotta bring him in so y'all can have some dialogue. So Jay, look, the floor is yours, bro.
I appreciate you, my guy. First off, Chess, I appreciate what you're doing with your chess company. To share 30 seconds. When I was in high school, I've always been into athletics. And when I was in high school, I used to sneak. We had a teacher that would teach chess, but he would put a thing he would put something over the door so that kids walking up the hallway couldn't see who was in there playing chess. Because in my era, playing chess meant you was a nerd, you was cool,
right,
or whatever.
You was a geek.
So it's so cool to see what you're doing with that with the young people. So keep pushing on that.
Thank you, man.
I want to delve into what you talked about. So first off, the biggest thing I hear, and somebody said it in the comments, was discipline. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to give you the floor for a second to speak to the level of discipline you have to have as an investor, because in the real estate market, the market can change at any moment. We're dealing with that right now in the market, where the market's been super high on the seller side because of COVID. Now things are starting to slightly calm a little bit, and then now you're starting to see people that were very confident in certain abilities start to waver a little bit because it feels like the market is calming. To you, what helped you stay disciplined? Because the easiest thing you could have did was got that first 11 and been like, man, listen, I can throw this 25 bet in the game, take the 11, buy a bike, hit the streets, do whatever.
Right.
What made you so disciplined to say, nah, 11 is a win. I didn't lose any money. I'm going to take this and go back into the market, and I'm going to keep going. What kept you disciplined on that?
Number one, I had gotten a feel for the real estate. I'd always wanted to invest in the real estate market. And I just think learning how to do the deals and finally understanding what it took to get deals and to get them flipped and to get the numbers right and things like that is one of the things that kind of kept me disciplined. Also, I got a family, so my kids and all that stuff. You know, definitely gotta, you know, they kept me grounded, But it's just like playing a game of chess, man. It's like in chess, you have to be super focused and you have to be very, very disciplined in that as well. And I think that's just embedded in me. So it just transferred over to real estate. The same way being a musician also helped, right? I've been a musician since I was like, you know, in elementary school. I was the music director for Tina Marie. I was music director for Keith Sweat. I mean, I was playing on a professional level. And so the time that you spend alone in that practice room, learning how to play an instrument is unbelievable discipline. You know, when everybody else in college was going out to the parties and they were going out to eat and hanging out and going skating and all that stuff, I stood back in the practice rooms, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, practicing my instrument, you know, and then I come out and they'd be like, man, you know, you're such a geek. Like you said, man, you're such a nerd. Why you know, like, why you spending all this time, you know, here? And I used to tell them, I spend time learning my craft now so that I don't have to work like you guys are going to have to work later. And so, you know, it took a lot of that taught me the discipline, and that just transferred over into real estate.
Makes complete sense. Okay, so my next question for you is, in watching your videos, and I've come to know you through Rel, and I really respect your mind from an investor perspective, because I run into folks every day that don't have a vision. Let's talk about one thing that I've seen in your videos that's a common theme is studying and after repair value.
Okay.
And I don't want to become I don't want to get super real estate jargony.
Right.
But what I want people to understand is that from a knowledge perspective, HGTV makes it seem like you just get out of bed, you pick any house, you have some money, you buy it, you make a lot of money, you buy a Benz, you win. And that's not real estate.
No.
There's a strategy in it, and there's one of your videos in particular where you're walking somebody through a property you rehabbed after it's done, and you're breaking down the numbers for them to show, hey, I paid this, I put this in it. But the biggest thing that I see on your whiteboard that you're writing on is this is what the after repair value is.
Right.
And to me, that's what validates the other two numbers, because that's how much, and to elaborate for those who are watching, when you're looking at doing a rehab deal, your ARV or your after repair value is indicating on what you potentially could sell the property for once it's rehabbed.
Right.
So if you're not on point with that, you can go in, and I watch investors all the time do some of the most elegant rehabs I've seen. I'm talking cathedral ceiling. I mean, just over the top.
Right.
And they break even because you have no knowledge of what the ARV is. So talk about, you don't have to necessarily speak about specifically ARV, but talk about how the research and the studying of the game and understanding it, why that's so particular and why it matters so much in order for you to be successful.
Exactly. Okay. Great question. And I'm gonna break it down to one video. Like I said, guys, remember I spent 2 years studying the markets and watching everybody's videos on YouTube before I started investing. And I saw one video by Chris Crone. It's a guy by the name of Chris Crone. He's a real estate investor. He's a big time YouTuber. And he had a video that talked about what you're talking about, ARV, after repair value. And he showed us in that video how to calculate the after repair value, how to know how much the house will be worth. And the biggest thing was, Jay, how to know how much to pay for the house. And once I got that formula, it's a very super, super easy formula. And once you get that formula, that also, Rails, is where the discipline came in too, because I follow that formula on every property I buy, and I don't waver from it, right? So just to give that, if we got any real estate people in the house, the first thing I do on the after repair value is I look through Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, all these places, and I check and see what other houses selling for in the area, which is what we call comps, right? Once I find my comp myself, I'll call up Jay because I know Jay's an agent. And I'll call Jay and I'll say, hey, Jay, listen, I can only do so much, but you have the access to the MLS. So can you look up the MLS and tell me exactly what you think this house should sell for after I flip it? That's my after repair value. I multiply that number times 0.7. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys the formula right now. Okay, because I believe in action, man. I don't believe in just talking. And I see a lot of guys who just talk. I want my people to work. I want my people to actually have the information, have the knowledge, and do the work. So ARV, let's call it 100,000 just to keep the numbers even, right? Easy. Multiply that times 0.7, okay, which will give us 70,000. All right, and then I subtract my rehab budget, or what I think my rehab budget is going to be from that number. So if I think my rehab budget is going to be $20,000, I have my 100,000 times 0.7, which should give us the 70, minus 20 should give us 50. And that means I can afford to pay $50,000 for that house, and I cannot go a penny higher. And I stick with that formula. On every flip I do, I stick with that formula.
I think that's so big, and thank you for speaking to it in the specifics, because to your point, as what Rel and I call it, they're minimal trigger pullers in the space. Mm-hmm. And what I want people to understand is there's a difference between wisdom and just blind action.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
From a wisdom perspective, wisdom is having the knowledge of, I can't pay more than X amount of dollar for this deal because of my calculations, and also because of the neighborhood where the deal is. Mm-hmm. If I don't think I can make said money back, as opposed to just running in, because sometimes when you got money in your pocket and it's burning a hole in your pocket, as a new investor, you want to hurry up and make a deal.
Right.
You want to make a deal. Yeah. And the conversations that I have with my investors all the time from a professional perspective is, you got to develop a criteria, which is what you have, right, and you have to stick to it. You can't waver on it. Right. It doesn't mean you can't learn from others, but you can't waver on it. Now, my last question to you is...
Jay, sure. Can I address that word that you just said, criteria? Can I address that real quick?
Please do.
Yeah, I just wanted, because since you said that, it triggered something. When you're flipping houses, you want to try to stay in with what we call the median, right? The median is what the average family will purchase a house, or the criteria that they use to purchase a house. And so my criteria became 3 bedrooms and 2 baths, minimum 1,000 square feet. That was my criteria. And so I had to find that formula that I gave earlier, and it had to fit within 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and 1,000 square feet, because the average family would buy 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and 1,000 square feet. So I'm glad you said that word. That was, yeah.
And once again, I appreciate you for even sharing what your criteria is, but it's good to have one, and it's okay if you bypass a deal if it's not the right deal. Right. I think some people get so caught up in, I want to, like, for me, and I tell investors all the time, be in the space because you want to be successful, not because you want to tell people you're an investor.
Right.
Like, because some people want to be in a space so they can say, I had this house, I flipped it, I made some money, and I won. There's a little bit more of a science to it. And that goes into my next statement, which is, and I have this conversation with sellers that are selling homes and investors that are rehabbing, you can't bring your personal feelings into the rehab, right? No. So you can't rehab a place based off of, this is what I would like. This is the kitchen I like. This is the floor plan I would like. To your point, you took a look at what the median person in that neighborhood, that area is going to buy. Mm-hmm. And the way I phrase it and I talk to my clients is, when you look, you have to understand who your buyer is in that neighborhood and what that buyer wants. Mm-hmm. It ain't about what you want. It's not about what you want to spend. It's about, can you produce the product that will get you that after repair value price point that you want. So I wanted to get your opinion and thoughts on when you look at it, do you agree or disagree? Do you feel like you can throw in a little bit of your personal flair? Or do you feel like you have to tune into what buyers in an area are interested in that you're buying a property to flip?
Right. Good point. Good point. No, you're absolutely right. You can't do what we call over renovate, right? And you said that earlier too. No, listen, what I do, here's one of my tricks, guys. Again, I give up the sauce, dude. I don't care. I don't hold anything back because I want people to be educated. I'll look and see what the last renovated house sold for in the area or in the neighborhood. Did they do granite countertops? What kind of chandeliers and fixtures did they do? What colors did they use? That's a huge part. People get caught up in these colors, man, and think I'm gonna make the bathroom, bright green with some, this and that and the other, and I'll put this busy floor down and all of that stuff. No, just look at what the last house that sold for that was renovated in the neighborhood and go match them. That's all you got to do, because if they sold, 9 times out of 10, if I do the same thing, I'm going to sell. And then, Jay, there is some room for personal, preference on like maybe countertops and things like that, backsplashes. There's a little bit of room to put your own personal touch in, which you definitely want to do. Like for one of the things I do, and this is outside the flip, right? Every time I sell a house and I go to closing, I give the buyer a chessboard. That's just what I do, right? Because I don't know if they got kids. I don't know what that's going to do for, if it's just a couple, maybe they'll start a new hobby, playing chess together. So again, that's outside of the flip, but it's something personal with my business that I do for them. But in terms of your point, in renovating, no, you don't. You really don't. Because here's how you look at it. Anything that if it's a flip house, anything that you put new is going to be better than what was there. So like for instance, my ceiling fans, I use the exact same Home Depot ceiling fan in every flip. And it's a $39 ceiling fan with a dome light on it. I use the same $99 push button at the top toilets in every single flip. So it's standard kind of things, and you'll learn that as when guys they're flipping, they'll learn that hopefully, and not over renovate or use too much of their personal touch in it.
And adding to what you said, going into these flips with buyers, the funny thing is, I walked into a flip with a buyer, and it was Quartz Countertops. They thought it was granite. They didn't care. They thought it was the nicest thing in the world that they've seen, right? And
plain white.
All I could do is I could conceptualize how many similar floor plan and layout properties I went in, where they had the mall, where they went all out. It's glass. I mean, it's crazy. But half of the time, just the visual aesthetic is what has the buyer like, I gotta have this house.
Yeah. And
then we'll have a conversation. What is it? It's quartz. This ain't granite? No.
Right.
Well, shit, it look good. I don't care.
And quartz is just standard white, right? Most of the time, it's just standard white.
It's just standard white, but it still gives some of the aesthetic of like a granite and some of that feel. Yep. But no, I think your point is very valid, and I appreciate you for giving it up on the level you did, man. Rel, I'm gonna hand it back over, bro, so you can pick up with your questions.
Man, look, I was just like a fly on the wall, man. Y'all are the subject matter experts around this topic, bro. So, at any time, Jay, if you want to jump in, with some other stuff, bro, feel free to jump in. You left off about the Rick Ross house and the apartment complexes.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, we can start there.
So talk to our audience, about the Rick Ross house. What is it? Are you actually flipping Rick Ross house? Apartment complex that got like, are we looking at the next Grant Cardone? Like, man.
Man. Got you. So let me start off and give the disclaimer. No, I am not flipping Rick Ross's house. It's not Rick Ross's house, guys. So look, the interesting part about this house is it is directly across the street from Rick Ross's house. So it's literally Rick Ross's house here, there's only one subdivision across the street from that house, which is the one I'm in. And I bought a house there. And for marketing purposes, it just dawned on me one day, look, I'm flipping a house across the street from Rick Ross's house. I'm going to call my house the Rick Ross house. And it's strictly marketing. You know, I don't mean anything by it. But, and then also, if you guys follow me and you know me, I name all of my houses anyway, you know, the tornado house, the
Yeah, I
hood
remember that.
healer, the Secret Service house that I got on the market right now.
Yeah.
Right. And that's because, you know, Quartz kept an FBI agent on that house. And so, you know, I name all of my houses anyway. And so Rick Ross just fit. It just fit. And when people hear Rick Ross, they're like, oh, let me tune in.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I always say, yeah, I always say in my videos, this is not Rick Ross's house. This is my house. So yeah, so the Rick Ross house though, it's $170,000 house that my partner and I found. Now let me tell you, Jay will know all about this. They were asking $142,000 for the house when we bought it. We had to bid $170,000 to get. I bid $27,000 over the asking. It was not random, Jay. It was not random. It was once I looked it up and I saw the ARV on the house. I knew the ARV on that house at the time, and I'm gonna show it to you too. At the time was gonna be $350,000. So guys, I put my offer in based on the ARV of $350,000. I didn't put it in based on the fact that it was 142. Because check this out. The neighbor told me after we bought the house and we got to be friends with the neighbor, he said, Chess, 50 people came by this house every weekend trying to get it, looking at it, looking through it, this and that and the other. Every weekend he would see 50 cars lined up to see this house. But I knew based on the ARV of the house, how much I could afford to purchase it for. So when I came in with the offer of $170,000, I wanted right off the back versus everybody else going in at 145, 150, 138, 135. My offer of 170 just outshined everybody else's offer. But here's the crazy part, Jay. I don't know if you run into this or not, but in order to get the house, once we finally got it, to actually get the contract, we had to put down a $17,000 earnest money. $17,000. That is unheard of. You don't like normally you know, you put down 1,700 on 170, but we put down, and the reason we did that was because we had already bought our hard money lender over. He looked at it, he approved it. I had already flipped 4 houses with him anyway. So I knew he was going to come through. So I didn't feel afraid to put up that $17,000 earnest money because I knew we were going to close. And of course, earnest money goes towards closing. My sister's in here. What's happening? Thanks, sis, for coming in.
So to your point, I listen, man, you just spoke a word. Number one, I can tell you in my market, you might have paid $190 to get it. Can you hear us, Chess? So while Chess is getting everything together, bro, like he was speaking to it.
Go out and come back in, Chess.
He was speaking to it 100%, bro. Which that's what the market is now. You can you hear us, Chess?
Yeah, he might gotta go out and come back in. I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Yeah, put it in the chat so we can see. Did you put it in there?
Yep.
But no, I mean he was speaking to it, and I appreciate him for even giving it up.
Yo, he was on a roll.
He was giving it up, bro. We got to get him back in. He was on fire. He was talking that talk too.
Man, look,
There we go. I'm sorry. The phone rang.
All
My bad.
good.
I'm
No
sorry.
problem. Listen. It happens to us all the time, John.
Okay.
So,
Is there
what
any
I was
way to
gonna,
stop that from happening? Is there any? Can you, if you put on
man,
airplane mode?
I've tried airplane mode, and I've tried do not disturb. I'm telling my clients that don't call me between 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Just don't call.
Like that's my new move now, because it's like every week it happens like that, man. So what I was gonna say is, I feel like what you spoke to is, number one, in my market, that house might have cost you $190 to get.
Right.
Because it's just, everything up here is going through the roof. And you're right, from an earnest money perspective, people want to hire earnest money to know that you're not playing,
Right.
and that you're serious.
Right.
But to what you said, and what I wanted to hone in on, is doing your due diligence matters.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you do your due diligence, you're not going to be fearful of the price point for the right deal.
Right.
And I think sometimes what you can't come into an investor, you can't bring a first-time home buyer's mentality into real estate investing.
No, totally
right?
different.
So people come in investing and saying, well, my grandmother said that you never pay $1 over list price to get the asset, blah, blah, blah. Okay, listen, if you want to play that game with the house that you're buying to live in, so be it. But as an investor, if it's the right investment, and you can turn it for a particular price, and what I love about your strategy is I can already calculate the numbers in my head to know what kind of ARV you saw.
Right.
It led you to say, I'll pay 23 over list because I know what I'm gonna be able to do in this neighborhood.
Right.
And that's so key, because people will get into this. A lot of people will come in with this mentality of, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I won't pay this. I won't put that earnest money up. But to your point, if you know that you have no interest in walking away from the deal, and you know that you're going to live up to your obligation, that is an easy way to pull in a seller and lock a deal down, is by saying, I'm going to show you how serious I am with this deposit. And you're going to put that money up at the end anyway.
Right. Yeah, they're going to take it anyway. That's part of the down payment anyway.
And trust me, listen, it seems like a simple concept, and I talk to my clients about it all the time, and a lot of them tend to get it and understand. But I love that you honed in on that. But now I want to give it back to Rel to transition back, because now we got to get into these apartment buildings. I see this little skip that you ran.
Real quick, Jay. Real quick, Rel. So take a look. Let me show. Now, do you remember I said 350 was my ARVJ on that house?
Oh no, I didn't hear that part. I didn't hear that part. Gotcha.
350 was my ARV, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Look how much Zillow is valuing it right now.
Listen.
448.
Listen. This is why it's for the right deal. It's okay to pay a little bit more.
Yeah, I could have paid more if I wanted to. I could have paid more. But right now, Zillow, and Zillow, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. It's not actual value, but it's proximity. It's close, right? So the range on that house is going to be anywhere from 450 to 480 or 490 that I know I can sell it for. So I'm $100,000 over my original ARV. Yeah.
What a look, man. What a look.
Sticking to that formula. Sticking to the ARV times 0.7 minus renovations. How much can you pay for it? That's how much you can pay for it.
How did you find that house?
Just looking. So that goes back to discipline, right? I'm up every single morning from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. looking at the market, looking at the real estate market, what's hit, what's new in my areas, in my zip codes that I like to buy in. And I'm also LoopNet. LoopNet is another one. A lot of people don't know about LoopNet. I talked to a property manager today that never heard of LoopNet before. But LoopNet is another one that I look at, because now, guys, I'm looking at much bigger deals. Now, I can't wait to get into this. This is what I really want to talk to y'all about right here. This is the one I want to get into. But so to answer your question, I look at the markets every single day, 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. I'm looking at the markets to see what new came out, and then on top of that, I get by being an investor and people knowing that I purchase, I'm a buyer or cash buyer, which is no such thing as a cash buyer, but being a cash buyer, they send me deals all the time. Real estate agents send me deals. Wholesalers send me deals. I get deals in email. So I just got deals now coming from every direction. But let me make this point real quick, and I'll give it back to you, Real. All of my deals, with the exception of maybe one, I found on Zillow. Every single one of them. And that's including my apartment buildings too.
Wow.
Yeah, except for this one I found on LoopNet. But most of everything I've done, guys, there's enough money in these deals to find them on market and still make a good piece of change out of them. You know, a good profit out of them.
So before we talk about the apartment complexes, both of you guys are in the industry, even though you're in, you know, different geographic regions. How would you say the market is for investors in Atlanta? And you know, Jay, I want to hear your rebuttal to that as well, because both of you guys been in the field for relatively almost the same amount of time.
Oh,
so
cool. Okay.
You know, from up to down or whatever the case might be. So I just want to hear a little dialogue from that. You know, as far as an investor stance down in Atlanta, you know, as well as you up here in Maryland, Jay.
Oh, Jay, you're in Maryland. What part?
I'm in Baltimore.
More. I went to Bowie State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I went to Bowie State. Yeah.
Listen, I do business in PG. I do business everywhere in the state of Maryland and now in PA as well.
Good deal. Good deal. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Cool. I didn't know.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, we gonna talk some more about that offline.
Yeah, so all three of us are from the DC DMV.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's right.
I was born and raised in DC. Yeah, born and raised.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
we got to make that trip to Atlanta. You the third person who we had on back to back that's in Atlanta. So,
wow.
Look.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Touchdown 18.
Yeah, we gotta do a world tour.
Yeah. Come on down. You know I got you.
Yeah.
All right. So what was your question? Jay was great to answer there.
The question is, you know, how's the market for investors down there? Because it sounds like you're still finding deals. And Jay, you know, is it still deals up here that you seeing that your investors find, or is it slim pickings?
I'll let you go first, Jeff.
Okay, cool. Yeah, man. So the thing about Atlanta, as you guys know, it's becoming like a mecca, right? So there's a lot of competition in Atlanta, a lot of competition. But it doesn't seem like it to me, because I don't have a problem finding deals because, and I don't want to get too far into this, but you got several different ways of investing in real estate. One is wholesaling, okay? People get on my case all the time. I use this controversial term. I call those the bottom feeders. So don't get on me, Jay. Don't get on me too bad. But those are the guys that generally don't have a lot. Those are the guys that generally don't have a lot of money coming in the game to invest in real estate. And so because of that, it's a different type of strategy that you have to use to get in, but it's also the bottom level where everybody comes in, right? So if you can or you don't raise or get enough money to get in at a certain level, most people come in at that wholesale level, right? And they wholesale because it's not a big barrier to entry. Mm-hmm. Then your next level is kind of flipping, which is where I started. But if you guys caught what I said earlier today, I had 25 grand to start off with, you know, and nowadays, like, I talk about $25,000 like it's $25 now. Like, when I notice when I'm talking to people about numbers, they be like, God, Chess, man, that's some big numbers you talking about, 1.8 million? I'm like, dude, it's just 1.8 million. It's like, it's the same thing, same effort is 1.8 thousand. It's the same effort. I still got the same 24, so I'm gonna spend my 24 in this 1.8 million instead of 1.8 thousand. It's the same thing to me. But what I'm saying is I put in a little bit of money up front, which allowed me to get in like a tier higher. You know, so because of that, you know, I generally don't have any problems finding deals. You know, and then just sticking to that formula.
Cool. So I'll say for us, I'm gonna align myself with what Chess said. It's a lot of the same. I'll also say that I feel like in this market here in Maryland, the waters have gotten muddied because you got the wholesalers, you have the flippers, you have the you have the the longer tenured flippers, high net worth investors, and folks that are wealthy. And now the new entry is, because of the pandemic and different ways that people have obtained money, you have a whole new group of investor that's brand new, but they're not cash poor. But they may come into a particular deal and drive the price point up because they have no criteria.
Oh, they don't have, okay.
So certain deals might go like a normal real estate investing bidding transaction would go. And then certain things will turn into eBay. So, for example, I had a client that found a property that she really loved that otherwise normally would have gone for $10,000. Already had a tenant in it, but it was in what I will call an emerging or improving neighborhood in this area. And maybe it would have cost, if she went high end 2 years ago, maybe it cost 20 grand. It ended up costing her 51.5 to get it.
Right.
But she had to have it. But what ended up happening was, now that you got the same normal sharks that you're fighting, plus the newbies that aren't bottom feeders and that aren't broke, but the newbies that are coming in that have money that are saying, I may not know price points and stuff, but I like this house and I like how much I could probably rent it for or flip it for. So I'm going to just bid this random number.
Wow.
And what it's done is that now, as an investor, I feel like you got to stand firm in where you are. Because you'll go into a deal that, like, the ARV is right, like this is the one, it's auction time, you're in it, and then it'll end up going for $50,000 more than what you thought you'd be willing to pay for it. And now the margin has died. And for some people, it becomes stressful because it's like, man, this is the great deal. Like, how could they drive the price to this ridiculous price point? Me, them, no one's going to make money at that price point. So it's just, I agree. I think it's the same. I think it's a lot of competition that's going on. And I guess the other side for us as well is some of our traditional low to moderate income areas now have plans from our city that are going to change it. And there's going to be a level of gentrification that's going to come in.
Right.
So now places where you used to find deals, the sharks are coming and saying, nah, I've been reading. Y'all about to start getting money over there. So now let me come with my pockets and we're going to turn this into who can afford to play and who can't.
Right. And I get that too, Jay. I get I'm hearing a lot of people that are retail buyers saying that they can't get houses because the investors are getting them all. They're swooping them all up. The big money guys are swooping them all up. You know, I had a lady that came at me and said, I can't buy a house because of you. I said, yeah, but I'm going to fix it and I'll sell it to you afterwards.
Yeah, that's it. Listen, to your point in our market, that's exactly what we're saying, man. It gets to a certain point where I start to tell my investors, this may not be the one, because where they're willing to go, and you'll be surprised in my market, it shocks me the amount of people that will take a loss and make a bad deal to win.
Wow, just to get the property.
Because, now don't get me wrong, some of it's a rhyme or reason. Some of them feel like, I know what this neighborhood's going to be in 10 years. Yeah. And I have so much money that I can afford to sit on this asset. I'll throw a renter in there first. If I can't flip it for the number I want, I'll throw a renter in there. I'll sit on the asset for 10 years. And then when the entire community is converted, because what we have now is we have a couple of small communities in our inner city that have completely converted. So now it's giving the high net worth investors proof of concept to say, oh, I can just sit like that guy did. He was in that neighborhood before we all were there, and he made $1 gajillion over there. I'll buy the asset, even if I don't rent it. I'll buy it, board it up, lock it down, and let it sit there. And then when the area changes,
right, then you, yeah.
I mean, I had, and I'll give one scenario, and I'll turn it back over to Ro. I just sold a house to someone who they had bought a home in a what we considered a tough neighborhood a couple of years ago for $1,000.
$1,000?
For $1,000, they put
wow.
they put $20,000 into it and fixed it during the pandemic, right? Because values are going through the roof.
Right.
They sell it to my client. They make $168,000 in change.
Ooh.
But they were in the neighborhood before anybody else was. So they bought it, they boarded it up, they let it sit there. I'll do something with it one day as soon as the neighborhood changed. And it's those transactions that now have the high net worth guys in my neighborhood saying, oh no, I want some of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll buy 10 of those up and just let them sit.
And just, right.
But that makes it tougher for the next Chess Holmes in Baltimore to want to emerge and come in if there is no criteria. If you got a criteria, you'll make it work. But if you're watching HGTV and just saying, that looks like a good house, and I'll buy it, you're going to be in and out the business in a couple months.
In a couple of months. That's right. That's right. Yep. You're right. You're right, man. Yeah. And I believe it's about studying, guys. I just really think it's about getting the knowledge first, you know, and studying and understanding what you're getting into first before you just see a couple of guys on Instagram, a couple of YouTube videos, and then just jump in. You really got to understand, you know, the market and what's going on. And here's another myth too. Let me display this myth too. You're not going to jump into real estate and flip one house and quit your job. It doesn't work like that. A lot of, Jay know what I'm talking about. That's why he's laughing. A lot of people, man, think you're going to get in this market and you're going to get you a flip and you're going to make $30,000 and then you finish, you're going to quit your job and you're just going to flip from now on. Dude, that's not what happened. Keep in mind, when I flipped that first house, I still had chess going on. I was still making money. To this day, that's still my #1 business. I mean, well, no, real estate kind of, dude, real estate's blowing my chess company out of the water right now. But what I'm saying is I still had income coming in. Oh, also, remember I said I'm a professional basis. I play at church every single Sunday. Every Sunday. And I got a steady income coming in from the church gig every Sunday. That just adds on now, you know? So please don't get misconstrued, guys, and think that I'm going to flip one house and it's just going to, you know, pay all of my debt off, pay my mortgage, my credit cards, my student loans. It doesn't do that. You have to be able to roll that money back into real estate. You know, somebody asked me the other day, like, how much money do you have in the game, in the market right now? I know I got close to 400 grand in the market right now, just sitting out there. But the thing is, it's just piling up. And I don't know when I'm going to bring it back. I have no idea when it's going to come back. But I know it's building. So that's it.
That's a fact.
That speaks heavily to, you know, something you said earlier, man, discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline. You know, you got that money out there. And you could have did anything with it, right?
I could have got my daggone Lambo with it.
You definitely could have got the lamb. You definitely could have got the lamb. But that discipline and just holding off until, you know, you feel as though the right moment to enjoy some of that fruits of your labor. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna milk this until I can't no more.
Yeah, and it's because Rail, I'm addicted to it now. Like, I'm addicted to buying real estate and apartment buildings and looking at apartment buildings. It's an addiction now. And once you do the numbers on what you can make off of buying an apartment building versus how much I can make off of buying a Lamborghini, well, you know, nobody talks about Lambos more than I do. I'm the no having this Lambo talking this brother out there.
Hey, look, look, you could, again, guys, ladies, he can buy a Lambo today if he wants.
If I wanted to.
But right now, you know, he focus on those assets that's going to bring in revenue. That Lambo, it's not going, I mean, it possibly can bring in revenue, you know, like
possibly, yeah.
maybe if you did some video shoots and stuff like that, but it's not going to generate as much.
Right.
So I definitely salute the decision on that. 1,000%. You're gonna get it. You're gonna know
it's gonna come. I'm not even, dude. I like, again, my focus now. My focus now is on this new $1.8 million deal right here.
Let's talk about that. Let's get into it.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to get into this right here. So this is one of the deals that I found. And before I go there, I'm gonna go there and give me 20 seconds to tell you guys the way I buy my apartment buildings is I bring in investors, right? Because I don't have infinite money to be able to do this. But I do know if I bring in Rail on the deal, if I bring in Jay on the deal, and if I bring in a couple of more people on the deal, we can buy this stuff collectively. Mm-hmm. It is easier, and I know Jay noticed, it's easier to buy an apartment building than it is to buy a house. 10 times easier to buy an apartment building. Yeah, believe it or not, your file on your apartment building might be like this thin. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's a thin file. A file on an apartment building will be this times 15, like a stack of papers. You guys have bought houses, So once I figured that out and the way that you buy apartment buildings and how to do it, man, I just got fixated on that, and I bought 2 in 2 months. So my first apartment building deal was $399,000. I found it on Zillow. Called up the person, called up the agent.
How many doors?
This one was 7 doors. 7 doors.
Okay.
7 doors. Yeah. Which is, I don't want to get too much into this, but that's not considered residential. It's considered commercial after 4 doors.
Got it.
Okay. And Jay, you can check me on that if I'm right. But after 4 doors, like 4 doors, you can get a residential loan on. 5 doors, it now becomes sort of a commercial property. 5 and more, right? So I found this property, $399,000. I stalled on it because I was a little bit nervous, but I went out and I had the money kind of sitting on the sideline, and I also had a few investors who I knew wanted to invest in some of my deals. So I brought a few investors in. I think it cost me $68,000 to get into this deal. Remember all the money I was stacking from chess and flipping, and I got a partner now. I took $30,000 of my own cash and put into the deal, and then I bought $30,000 worth of investors and bought them in the deal. Okay, so it was $399. When I did an inspection on it, I negotiated the price to like $399, like $350 something, and then I did an inspection on it and got it down to $343, and that's where I closed that deal at, was at $343. So guys, I'm gonna give you the game. Buying an apartment building, this is how easy it is. You need the money for the down payment, 20%. Okay, you gotta have 20%. You need a 680 credit score. Okay, 680 credit score, 20% down, and what else did I need? Oh, a business. You got to have an LLC or some type of corporation or something. Okay, you have to establish that. But those 3 things, dude, was all I needed to get into that first deal. That was it.
Did you find that deal online as well?
Same way on Zillow. Found it on Zillow. Yep. Call up the bank. Here's another thing. Financing through credit unions is easier than financing through some of these big banks. Like, don't go to Wells Fargo. Don't go to Bank of America. Don't go to Chase, right? Go find your local credit union or your local mom and pop bank that's in the neighborhood of where that asset that you're looking for is. And 9 times out of 10, if the circumstances are right, they'll finance that loan. So I found the deal, went to the bank, got approved for the 300 and I think it's minus the 68,000, ended up being 200 and something thousand that I got approved for, and I closed on that deal in about 60 days. Took me 60 days to close on that deal. And right now, here are I I try to unhighlight some stuff because I don't want y'all to see all that. But here's a couple of investors that are in on that deal with me right now. And so these investors, like this one person, I think they put up like $10,000, and I'm giving them a 10% annualized return on their money. So they're making $100 per month off of their $10,000. And then also I'll pay their $10,000 back, and they'll also make their residual income. Now they're making this $100 a month for doing nothing, absolutely zero.
Yeah, and that's much more than having that 10 grand in the bank.
Huh?
Now, I said, and that's much more than having that $10,000 just sitting in the bank, not collecting.
If you had $10,000 sitting in the bank, you wouldn't make $200 by the end of the year, right? So this person would be with me for just 2 months. Has already made more than they would having that money sitting in the bank.
So what those 7 doors, are they fully occupied?
Yep, fully occupied. Now, here's the great thing. That's a great question. The great thing I love about real estate is, unlike the stock market, there's nothing that neither one of us can do to improve the stock market. Nothing, right? But when I go into these apartment buildings, I can change the toilets, I can change the paint, I can change the floors, the sinks, whatever, and then I increase the value of the asset by making these modifications. So when I bought it, 6 of the units were occupied, but 1 wasn't. Everybody in the building was paying $500 per month. So I had already done my due diligence to know it was undervalued for the area. They weren't paying the right rents and things like that. Yeah. Now, and I showed a video on my Instagram, I rented that unit out for $725, that 1 unit. But keep this in mind, my mortgage, $1,715 per month, stays the same. So it doesn't matter. I can renovate every single unit in there, but my mortgage will not increase. Yep.
But your rents, you know, what you're getting on, they're going to go up 150, 200.
Exactly.
I mean, it can go up how much ever you say, which I think is genius. Before we go into your other one, what's your strategy with that? Are you planning on keeping that forever as a buy and hold it in your portfolio, or are you going to keep it for like maybe 5 years, 3 years, and then sell it?
Well, like Jay said earlier, you know, don't get attached. Don't get attached to real estate, man. But I do have a place in my heart for it, a little sentimental value, because it's my first one. You know what I mean? So I'm a little bit sentimental about it, Rail, because it is my first one. So I might keep it forever. I might not. I don't know yet what the strategy is on that one. But I can definitely tell you, moving forward, like my second one and this one that I'm working on, the goal is to buy it, bring the values up, just like a fix and flip, and then sell it after a few years. Gotcha. That's my goal. Yep. So, and just so you know my whole strategy, guys, I flip houses and I buy apartment buildings. That's it. That's my strategy. I don't buy and hold houses. I got a specific reason why I believe you should not do that. I don't buy them to hold on to them and rent them out and all that stuff. I'll buy them to flip them, fix them and flip them, take that cash, and I'm going to put it into the next apartment building deal. That's my strategy.
Good deal. Good deal. And hey Jay, you wanna chime in on anything at all, brother?
Did you get a phone? I think you got a phone call, maybe.
Yeah, he probably got a phone call. All right. So while we waiting for him to come back, you got another one, right?
Yeah. So I got 2. I got 2 now. So
okay.
So
hold on. How long ago did you get the first one?
April
this year, like
April of this year. April of
months
this year.
ago.
The 7th unit.
And you're already on your next one.
Well, no, I'm on my 3rd one now.
Holy crap! Man, this guy's cooking.
So I bought the 7 unit in April of this year.
Right.
Now, and then I turned around and bought a 4 unit in June.
Okay.
Which was a total accident. I really didn't even mean to buy that 4 unit. That was kind of like an accident. I think that was me practicing. Because, you know, I always wanted to go bigger. You know, I said, okay, after I buy this 7 unit, I want to try to go to 10 or 20 next, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking in my mind, you know, my next one might be 15, might be 16, might be 20, whatever it is. And then this deal pops up on Zillow again. They were asking they were asking $330,000 for it. So I just took a flyer and I said, you know what? I'm gonna offer them $290. I'm gonna offer them $290. I offered $290 and they accepted it like almost just like that. They accepted. I was like, man, now look, I wasn't even trying to buy it, but I got put on the hook for it just because I made that offer.
Yeah.
And then I noticed that when I went to go see it, there were some improvements that I could make. It was undervalued of all of the rest of, like, it appraised for like $340 something. So I automatically bought $50,000 in equity. See what I'm saying? So I was kind of like, you know what? I got to go ahead and take this deal. So I reached out to a few more investors that wanted to invest in real estate, that's got money just sitting in a bank account that's not making anything. And I said, listen, will you go into this deal? Show them the deal, how it was going to cash flow, how they were going to make, you know, their profits and things like that. They said, okay. They put up the money and we put it towards the down payment and bought the deal, bought that 4 unit. Now that was in June last month. So now that brings me to the third one. Now I had set a goal on my IG. I don't know if you ever saw that little thing I said that had buy this, buy a Lambo, buy 2 apartment buildings. My goal for the year was to buy 2 multifamily apartments, right? Now I find myself working on this third deal. So I got 2, now I'm working on the third one, which is the biggest one I've ever looked at. So stop me before I go into it.
No, go ahead. We want to. That's how we want to.
Okay, gotcha.
So
guys, let me put this plug out there. I'm actually raising money right now for this deal right here. It's a 26-unit property located in Augusta, Georgia. Right? I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but it's a very, very nice property right here. Super, super nice property. It's 26 units. All of them are in great shape, great condition, and they're all occupied. Every single unit is occupied. Okay. So, so this unit is costing, I'll show you some of the pictures here if you can see that. Look, I'd rather y'all see the pictures. Forget me. Don't look at me. Look at the picture. Because I want y'all to see the deal, right? But the unit, they're asking 1.8375. Okay, 1.8,375,500. Okay, so I'm like, man, you know, I can't afford a $1.8 million deal. But keep in mind, I know from raising money from my other deals that it's possible to do it. Mm-hmm. And I know that paying people, being able to pay my investors, it works. You know, they're getting paid every single month. So I'm like, well, shoot, why don't I just go bigger? Just go bigger. Just ask for more. Maybe seek out a different type of investor. So let me throw the deal out there. Here's the deal. It's 1.8 million. We have to put down $367,000, right? I don't have 360,000 grand, you know, sitting in the bank account. So I'm raising $70,000 per investor. I'm looking for 5 investors, just 5 investors to put up $70K. Okay. Now that leaves us about 17 grand left over, which I'm gonna put up myself. I'm gonna put 17 grand in the deal. Okay. But now when you put up the 70K, I'm giving a 7% annualized interest payment. Okay. So that equals $408.33 a month. So you're going to make a residual income for $408.33, which is 7% of the 70K. Now, guys, this is a long-term play. This is not a short-term play. So this is a 5 to 6 year investment. Okay. So I'm asking the investor to invest in this property for 5 to 6 years. Okay. Every single month, you're going to get an interest payment of $408.33, which equals a total over 6 years of $29,400. So that's the small slice of the pie, is you're going to make $29,400 for doing absolutely nothing but shifting your money from one place to the other. But here's the part that when I saw this, I had to go after this deal. It's on page 21. I know exactly what page it's on. Look at this. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it or not. I'm going to try to get it close to you, but I'm just going to tell it to you. In 5 to 6 years, remember, we're buying this property for $1.8 million. 5 to 6 years, this property is projected to be worth $3.9 million in 5 to 6 years. I believe it's true because, number one, it's down the street from a naval base. It's a great area, up and coming area, and nobody else can build anything like this in this area. So that's going to increase the property value. So in 5 to 6 years, we're going to cash out of this property. Now, this is how my investors are going to get paid back. There's 70 plus the number I'm getting ready to tell you. We're going to sell for 3.9. We're going to pay off the mortgage, which we still have. Now, remember, we was paying that mortgage off 5 or 6 years. In 5 or 6 years, our mortgage is going to be $1,083,000. Okay, which leaves us a net profit after the sale of $2,832,000. That's after we sell this property off, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 50-50 split, 50-50 profit share split with my investors. So if you guys invest with me $70,000, I'm going to do a 50-50 profit share split on this 2.8. 2.8 will go to the company, and you guys will split 1.475 million amongst 5 people. So somebody can give me the number on that. But if I'm not mistaken, that 1.475 divided by 5 should be somewhere around 290 something thousand.
295.
295. Okay. So
you're...
in 5 to 6 years, you're going to make 295,000. Plus, don't forget the 30,000 that you made over the course of the 5 or 6 years, and you get your 70K back at the end of that too. So, Jay, can you Rail, can you add that up for me? 295 plus the 30,000, which is the 7% over the course of 5 to 6 years, so
and your plus the how much?
Plus the 30,000. That's
okay.
The 7% they earned over that course of time.
Gotcha.
And then they're also getting their 70K back.
395.
Yep. So
the numbers don't lie, man. That's the numbers. Now, here's what I did, because Jay, we both know that things don't always go according to plans, right? So here's what I did. I knocked $1 million just for the sake of argument, to be conservative. I knocked $1 million off the deal. So let's say we sell for, Rel, do this number right here. Let's say we sell for 1.832 102. 1.832 102.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Divided by 2.
Okay.
How much is that?
916,051.
Divide that by 5.
183,210.
183,210 plus 30,000.
Okay, 213,210.
Plus your 70 back.
283,210.
Yep.
Dude, 5-year investment, $280,000. If we're wrong, that's if we're wrong. That's if we completely screw up and the market doesn't rise, nothing happens, we don't raise any rents, we don't plant no flowers, we don't put a fountain outside, we do nothing to the property but collect rents from day one. If we're wrong, you're going to end up walking away with $300,000 and something in 5 to 7 years. Look, dude, nobody's 401ks is performing that way.
I agree.
Nobody's. Real estate performs like that. So what this is not an investor. I'm not looking for investors that have 70K sitting in a bank account, right? Because if you got that kind of money sitting in a bank account, you're probably an investor yourself. You're probably
you're doing the deals yourself.
You're doing the deals yourself. You're doing something to flip that money yourself. So you need your cash. You need liquid. My investor is the 401k investor or the Roth IRA investor that realizes that, you know, I'm not going to make $300,000 in the next 5 years. So I'll go ahead and put my money in this deal. And I get a residual check every single month for not doing anything. So that's my investor, and that's who I've been pitching to, making presentations. Guys, I'm going to throw this pitch out there. If you'd like to hear more about this deal, I'll get on a Zoom call with you. I'll walk you through the numbers so you can see the entire deal. But it's a great deal. It's a great deal. I've already put the offer in, so I'm just waiting on them to accept my offer right now. That's all I'm waiting on. But I would love to buy this with us 3 and 2 people. Come on into this deal, y'all.
Look, those are some good numbers. That's one hell of a ROI.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Dude, it's real estate. And here's the deal. So here's the question I get. Here's the question I get all the time. Well, what's the risk? Everybody says, what's the risk? What if it don't work right? Well, first of all, I just showed you what happens if we're $1 million off, right? We're buying it for 1.8 now. We know the history of real estate, it's got to go up in value. The other great part about it is this complex has been there since 1981. So it's an established complex. It's not going anywhere. They did some renovations in 1999. They're managing it right. They're keeping it up. So assuming we go in, because I always assume that I go into the deal not doing anything to it but collecting rent, right? I don't anticipate going up on rents. I am, but I'm just saying for the purpose of buying it when I do my numbers, I'm anticipating not going up on rent. I'm anticipating not changing anything about the deal, but how the current owner is running it right now. And if we're $1 million wrong, you still walk away with almost $300,000, right? The risk, dude, is as long as the risk is we go in, we mismanage the whole property. We don't fix a single toilet. We don't do anything. We don't cut the grass. We let it go down the garbage and everybody moves out. Now, dude, do you think we're going to do that?
No, it's not happening.
It's not happening.
It's not happening.
That's the only risk involved with this deal is if we don't do anything, completely mess it up, mismanage it, and let everybody move out. Not happening.
Yeah. Look, that's one hell of a deal.
It's a great deal, man.
Even though you're only 2 years into the game, man, you're extremely knowledgeable. You got a hell of a criteria. And I can tell that, you know, even though, you know, you're running a business and also, you know, got your hands into, you know, the bass guitar and, you know, you're still passionate about that and play for your church.
Yeah.
Bro, you're not playing when it comes to this real estate.
Yeah.
You know, you're up in order to get these deals that's going to, you know, bring you in millions of dollars. Like you're willing to do all of that I just mentioned, as well as wake up 3 a.m. in the morning to be in front of the computer to find deals or look for deals or comb through the bushes
every day, every single day.
And it goes back to what we talked about in the beginning.
Discipline.
Discipline. And your hunger to win is impeccable, man. I tip my hat off to you, man, and definitely salute to you. I would love to get in on, you know, some of your deals in the future. You know, we've had talks as well, and we're going to continue to have talks. I got to get down to Atlanta.
Okay, 1 second, guys. What's up?
We got to get down there, Hall.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. We listen. We gotta do something in person.
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, absolutely. Listen, Relly Rails came down. Him and his wife came down, man. I went to go meet with him. We went down to eat. We went and hung out for a little while. So, dude,
I
when
remember
y'all
that.
come, I got you. I got you. I promise I got you, man.
Hey, Jay, you want to any last remarks? As far as the deals, as far as anything, man. Again, you guys are both the real estate guru of this panel today. So the floor is yours, my bro.
So the biggest message I have is follow at Chess Homes United.
Unlimited, unlimited,
I'm
unlimited.
sorry, Unlimited. My bad.
That's good.
Follow
Cool.
Chess Homes Unlimited on all platforms. His criteria is his criteria, but the path that he gets to it, he's going about it the right way. So even if you're from an apprehensive perspective and you just want to learn more, or you see this interview and you like, man, let me see what's up with this guy, give a follow and take a look, because he's going to show you, like, yeah, he's done all of this in 2 years, but there was a level of pre-work that went into it. And
Yeah.
there's a level of laser focus.
Yep.
That if you're willing to do that, like, don't get me wrong, you could go through your pain points over 10 years and then get to that point, or you could come in the game with a level of laser focus, studying and being extra strategic and being successful. And this is one of the few people from an internet perspective, which is why I loved doing this interview, that's saying, let me take you into what I do. Mm-hmm. Now, he's successful enough that he could say, my lifestyle is good enough that you should believe what I'm saying. Instead, he's coming in and doing it. And even in this case, with this deal that he's looking to bring investors in on, sharing the details of the deal in a transparent way on the internet that doesn't happen. And Chess, if you don't know it, that's why we created this platform, was because what we noticed was that as you're building this empire, right, usually people don't do what you're doing until they're in the billionaire status, right? Then it becomes, let me flash back to my first deal, and all of that. Yeah. You're bringing people into your mix organically right now while it's growing. Yep. So, but once again, follow Chess Homes Unlimited on every platform. And the message is great.
Thank you, Jay. I sure appreciate it, man. And you know what? That's I get emotional about that. That's heartwarming, man, because you're right. I didn't come into the real estate game after being in 5 years and I had the Lambo sitting in the garage. If you go to my YouTube channel, and this is what I did for all of the videos I used to watch, I would go and look at Grant Cardone, Ben Muller, Jerry Norton, all these big YouTubers. But I went to that little search bar and I typed in from the date beginning. Yeah. I didn't go to where they are now and look at what they're doing now. I went to their first videos. Yep. When Will Motivation was Will Moss. Yeah. That's when I went in.
10 years ago. Yeah.
And I looked and saw what they were doing back then. So if you go to my YouTube channel, Chess Holmes, and you go to that first video, you'll see my very first flip. Like, I'm glad I started YouTubing at the time I started my first deal. So I've been documenting my whole entire journey. Yep. And just so you guys know it's legit, there's the offer right there, that 1.8.
Yeah.
That's the offer. And Jay know what that document is.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Look, that's my down payment right there.
And trust me, guys, nobody are showing their docs on the internet for you to see.
Back office, man. Nobody's doing that.
Not at all, man.
Appreciate that, bro, for sure.
Thank you, man.
Man, look, this one was so good. I didn't even look at the time. We definitely ran over, but
oh wow,
I think it was well worth it, man.
Oh yeah. And there's a part 2 coming.
Oh,
we're gonna have him back. We're gonna have him back.
We definitely
Jay,
gonna
look, Rel is already my brother. Jay, we gotta be brothers, man. We're gonna
talk offline. We're gonna talk for sure.
We gotta talk, man. We gotta get connected, Jay.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So look, thank everybody for tuning in. We had to keep this one going. I just couldn't cut it short because it was tons of knowledge. And I also learned a lot as well, man. And this is also why I love doing these these live shows on our network, because it teaches each other, iron sharpen iron. And I thank you again for coming on the platform. Keeping it transparent.
Thank you,
Taking
man.
it back office. We definitely rooting for you. We definitely support you.
Thank you, brother.
And we look forward to
Thank y'all.
you closing more deals and us bringing you back on, and we talk about the 1.8 and man, I got this $100 million apartment.
That's where we're going.
I got a whole community now that I'm rocking with, man. So I know what's coming, man, and
Yeah.
I'm excited for you. But I'm also excited that I know a guy that's like this. Like, man, look, I'm in the room. I'm in the room with a guy who
man
building it up from the ground. And when we say network, is my network, this is what we talking about. Like, yo, he's in our network.
Yeah.
He's in our network, type of guys who we building with. And, we all are in our process. I'm doing good, but
yeah.
I look at my future like, yo, I gotta, like you, I gotta stay grounded.
Yeah.
I can't go out and buy the new Lambo right now.
Yeah.
Or I can't go out and buy, the new Bentley right now. Is that the right financial decision? Or
Right.
should I continue to invest that money into my business and other endeavors? And
Right.
then if I get to a point, buy that new Bentley or buy that new Rolls or buy that Lambo.
And here's the deal, Rail. The business will tell you when it's time to do that stuff. The business will tell. You don't have to guess, dude.
Mm-hmm.
When I started my chess company, I was in my basement and doing all the documents and creating all of the Vistaprint documents and all that stuff. And I got to a point where I had a few schools. I was teaching the lessons myself. And I kept saying, man, I think, should I get an office? Should I not get an office? Man, an office is going to cost me about $300-400 a month, man. I don't know if I can do. The business told me when it was time to get that office. And when I got that office, it blew up from there, man. So the business will tell you when it's time to make moves.
And I'm going to end on this. The business will also pay for the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
This time.
Bingo.
Yes. Yep.
Bingo.
That's right.
Bingo. Use your, as people say, use your investments to pay for your toys, man.
I'm going to leave it on that. I ain't even saying nothing else after that, dude.
Yeah. On that note, thank you everybody for tuning in. It's Rel Purnell, UC J Hall Agent, UC Chess Holmes. Tap in with all of us. Join all of our channels on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all of the above, man. We all got a story. We all got a journey that we documented. Stay along for the journey because it's going to be a great one. And I'll see you guys on the next one next week. As I always say, stay positive, stay motivated. Salute.
Salute.
Salute.